Hey everyone, welcome back to the VSO Gun Channel. It's great to be here as always, and it's great to have you here. Real quick bookkeeping, go check your subscription notification settings. I know that it seems like this cycle happens where we talk about this a whole lot. The last couple days have been particularly bad. So if you will go check that, make sure it's the way that you left it. And if it's not, then leave a comment down below and let people know that I'm not just making this stuff up. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of people out there scratching their head today about Trump's pick being JD Vance from Ohio. And I'm going to give you my perspective as an Ohioan who voted for JD Vance, why I voted for him, and why I think, as a Second Amendment person who does the Second Amendment news almost every single day, why he picked JD Vance, even though JD Vance is a relative newcomer to politics. That and more after we hear a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by XS Sights, and I've been using XS for almost a decade now, and I will admit that when I first started being introduced to XS Sights, I didn't get it. It wasn't until I took a Force on Force class that was a low light class that I was like, oh, there's no other sight in the world. This is what we have to use. And I've been using them ever since. I gravitate towards their big dot sights for my pistols, but the same technology is available in the regular dot size. XS continuously pushes the envelope, such to the point that they even recently came out with fiber optic sights for those people who are completely wrong about how to use sights. Special thanks to XS for making today's video possible. I have a clip that I'm going to show you that will really drive my point home. But before we get there, some people really get on me about my stance on Trump. And I was a 2016 Trump voter. I was not a 2020 voter. And that is because Donald Trump did some stuff in his first term that really turned his back on me and my community, namely the Second Amendment community. That strategy that he used was then co-opted by our current administration to do all kinds of horrible stuff as it comes to the First and Second Amendments. To many of you, this sounds like a broken record. You've heard me say this 100 times, but if you're new here, I have been pretty staunch in my, not necessarily opposition to Donald Trump, but my banging of the drum to let people know that Donald Trump isn't really a Second Amendment candidate. And anybody who says that he is, in my opinion, being disingenuous. The truth of the matter is, and I've said this time and time again, as someone who works in the gun industry, Donald Trump lost the gun vote in 2020. He just absolutely did. And you need to look no further than there's approximately 10 million firearms owners that are not registered to vote. He alienated that vote. I am one of those people, and I talk to those people every single day. You can be mad at me for giving you the information, for presenting the facts to you all you want. You can hide your head in the sand from them. You can shake your fist at me all you want. I'm just telling you the truth. And I know that it's only been a couple days, but I'll just tell you what is going through a lot of people's minds right now in my community. They see this thing that just happened as a potential bad thing for the Second Amendment movement. They're concerned that him being a victim of a crazy shooter might influence his Second Amendment policies even further in the wrong direction. JD Vance fixes a whole lot of what I just discussed. As an Ohio voter that voted for JD Vance and is intimately acquainted with his positions on the First and Second Amendment rights of the United States citizen, I have a clip that will drive my point home.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Tucker. So you think about it, this database is ultimately a backdoor to a gun registry in this country. And if you look at what liberals have done in Europe, at what they've done in Australia, once you allow gun registry, you effectively allow the disarming of your citizenry. This is ultimately about destroying the Second Amendment, just as the Democrats' alliance with big tech is about destroying the First Amendment. And my basic argument here, Tucker, is look, if the Democrats are going to ignore the heavily armed drug cartels on our southern border, but use the ATF to go after law-abiding citizens, why don't we just get rid of the ATF?
Boys and girls, I think that speaks for itself, but what I would say, and to further dispel some of the things that have been said, about JD Vance. Yes, he is a freshman senator, and people say, well, he's not well connected. He doesn't have this or he doesn't have that. You know, he hasn't established his record. Obama was a freshman senator. The idea that you can't turn a freshman senator into a winning candidate does not hold water for me whatsoever. JD has been steadfast in his support of the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. He's a writer by trade. He's a published author. And the only black mark on his record was when they first started introducing the idea of red flag laws. He was like, I don't really know what that is. Maybe that's a good idea. We'll have to look at that. And then after he really found out what it was, he's like, nope, absolutely not. He is a balance for all of the issues as far as the Second Amendment community is concerned when it comes to Donald Trump. So from my perspective as a prospective voter, this is possibly the strongest pick that Trump could have performed to secure my vote in the 2024 election. Just saying, this goes a really, really long way with somebody like me who's like, you know, that unprincipled stance here or there gets strongly balanced by somebody like JD Vance. Let's also consider an unfortunate possibility. Should we consider that Donald Trump is old, okay? He's not Joe Biden old, but he's old. He's also a big man. I'm not saying that he's like fat or anything like that, but let's just be real. Donald Trump is 6'3". I don't know what the man weighs, but he's a 6'3", 78-year-old man. 78, 79. I don't remember. Start having problems when you mix those sort of things together. Okay, so securing somebody who is very young, JD is just over the limit for being able to run for president or vice president of the United States, and having some young blood in there that isn't an old man yet can go a long way when it comes to perhaps the future of the ticket and the party as a whole. So I think, again, I've stated my case of why JD Vance is possibly the strongest pick that Trump could have picked. And that basically means that he automatically wins Ohio because JD Vance is a superstar here in the state of Ohio. You need to look no farther. He was like the first person on the ground when that big train wreck blew up on the east part of the state. He was there scratching the creek, showing the oil coming out of the creek bed and all that sort of stuff. He was that guy. I guess what I will say is the defense rests. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. You got a little bit more perspective on the new VP pick by Donald Trump. And hopefully we'll see another video here at the VSO Gun Channel.